We beat the UP prediction po. We beat it. So congratulations, Philippines. Let's do it again in July.
Okay, good evening, gentlemen.
Ito na yung mga,
Good evening.
ito na yung mga talunan. Ito na yung mga talunan.
Oh, this is the post-game interview.
Pero si Father UST eh. Si Father UST eh.
Oh, yeah.
Medyo konti lang naman, no? Between the 40,000 saka yung sinasite nilang figure. But anyway, anong reaction nyo doon? We beat the UP projections. Professor Ranjit, siguro, we start with you.
Well, this is not this has never been a game for us, and we've always produced data really in the service to the people and of our government, and we respect Secretary Harry's appreciation of the data, but we stand by our forecast. I think we missed it by less than 6%, which for any modular forecast is kind of good, no? But we're also very sad that we have at this point reached this far. For the last 2 weeks, we've been urging government for timely and an adequate response, and for us to all come together, and step up our own response as a people against the pandemic. And when we did this forecast, we were, I think, I don't know, Guido, you correct me, something like 24,000 cases. So we had over more than 10,000 cases in 2 weeks. This is not something to be happy about. And maybe while we respect the exuberance and triumphalism of our very hardworking and burdened spokesperson, Harry Roque, also alumnus of UP, that we should be more cautious. And the messaging is that the pandemic is here, it's spreading, we all need to work together, and there's so much more work to be done.
Okay. Professor David, I just wanted to ask, and I agree. In fairness to Harry Roque, I do believe you'd want to grasp at to take at any good news that you can get right now. I think that's the context they try to rally. They're trying to rally the spirits of the people here. But statistically speaking, Professor David, we just want to know. Professor Rye mentioned it's just off by 6%. But what does that mean in terms of your findings, your projections, and the statistics? If it's off by 6%, does it matter?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Robbie. And I think Father Nicanor also wants to say something about this, so I'll let him speak after me. The 6%, it's not. I mean, this is not really like a stock prediction. I mean, you gain money by hitting the mark or how far away you are. It's about a projection. Now, if we project this, it's based on the current trend, and if we reach the projection, that means it hasn't changed much, or it hasn't changed if we reach the same target. And if we so it's more like a barometer, and if we do perform much better than the projection, which is actually what we want. For example, instead of hindi natin hit yung 40,000, we had something like 30,000 cases. Then it's a good sign for us because that means we're actually flattening the curve. Kung talagang mababa yung numbers. Because right now, the RNAP is it's close to 1. It's greater than 1, but it's close to 1. So we're not that far from flattening the curve kung mapababa lang natin yung number of cases. So yun nga. In terms of, if you're evaluating a projection or a forecast, within 10% is probably acceptable. But this is not really a prediction in the sense that we're trying to hit something. This is more like a barometer.
Father Nick.
So I think it's important that we emphasize that we are not. It's more important to look at a trend rather than a target. And the concern I think that many of us have is that the trend is going up. So if it was 38,000, but the trend is going down, that is so much better than 38,000 and the trend is going up. So,
Mm.
I always tell my students when I teach this, I say it's important to look at the trend, not a single number, but you look in the last few weeks. What is the trend of the cases? Another thing, I think it's someone mentioned this in the pre-show. You know, I was just looking at the DOH, the COVID tracker. There are
Yes, Father.
46,335
Hmm.
positive individuals in the Philippines.
Yes.
So how are we counting cases? If there are 46,000 individuals who were positive for COVID, but there are only 38,000 that are validated, which number is more representative of the pandemic that is happening in the country?
Okay.
I suppose, professors and father, I suppose people should be reminded that what you're looking at really are mathematical models based on the trends. So you're not really hitting a specific number. You're looking at the pattern or the trend of the numbers. So in which case, I suppose whether or not you hit the exact 40,000 is not really that important as whether or not your estimations are valid and your assessments are valid.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear.
Ulitin mo
Well, let
yan.
me put it this way, professors and father, what are the implications of the numbers that we have seen? More or less, we're hitting 40, or maybe we're even above 46,000 if you go by the positive cases. What does this tell us as far as our response? You issued this warning as early as I think June 10 or June 12, and still we almost hit that number, or even went beyond that number. So did we take the steps that we should have taken in order not to hit that number?
Yes. Yes, I will. Maybe I will address that first. First thing is actually, in fairness, naman, we were aware of this backlog already of about 8,000 cases back in June 8 or June 12 when we made the forecast or the projection. Uh, so it's more like yung target niya, or not the target, but like the trend and where the projection meet. And I think one of the major factors that happened here, and I think government has to look at this, is the trend slightly slowed down. We can say
Mhm.
it slowed down because it didn't reach the 40,000, but it slightly slowed down because of what happened in Cebu. We reverted Cebu back to ECQ. And I think
Mm.
that helped slow down the pandemic. And I think that was a good move by the government. Because if we didn't do that, I think the number of cases so Cebu would have risen, and it could have produced, let's say, 3,000 more cases or 4,000 more cases. And then we would say we are over the projection, and that means it did worse because we were not able to manage the spread in Cebu. So, in some sense, there is a positive here because the government made some right decisions, pero we need a lot more, more positives to be able
Okay.
to beat this virus.